Every so often, when we were little, our parents would go away for a weekend, leaving us in the care of our Uncle Alberto. Alberto had always been single, but he had a soft spot for children, and he looked after us with affection and care. One Friday night, just before Christmas, our parents left for the city. We were all gathered in the living room, engrossed in watching Miracle on 34th Street, while a furious snowstorm raged outside. I remember some parts of that night vividly, while others have faded into memory. At one point, the power went out, and we had to fumble with the VCR to get back to where we were in the movie. Soon after, Uncle Alberto fell asleep soundly on the couch, and we left him to rest while we continued watching. In the scene where Kris Kringle climbs up the facade of the building, one of my brothers got up to go to the bathroom. As he left the room, he glanced out the window for a moment and ran back in, screaming that there was something outside, that it wanted to see us. Driven by morbid curiosity, the three of us, me, my older sister, and my other brother, rushed to the back door. Before our eyes, a series of footprints in the fresh snow led from the door itself to the window, and then headed towards the woods. To make things even more eerie, my brother swore he heard the back door handle jiggle. My sister, though the oldest of the three of us, got scared and ran back to the living room. We, on the other hand, excited by the idea of a mystery to solve, decided to follow the footprints. We put on coats and boots and assured Uncle Alberto, still asleep, that we would only be gone for a short walk. We ventured out into the snowstorm, following the tracks that were quickly filling up with fresh snow. The footprints led us into the woods, getting deeper and deeper as we went. We didn't know if there was less snow falling under the tree canopy, or if the footprints were simply more recent. After a while, the footprints led us to a small cabin hidden among the trees. It was dark, and no light could be seen from the windows. The footprints reached the front door, but we didn't dare go near it. Instead, we approached a window, peering inside. The interior was too dark to make out anything, but we noticed that the window was actually just a screen. Suddenly, two knocks came from inside the cabin, followed by the sound of something sliding. We didn't see what caused the sound, but a moment later, one of my brothers screamed and pointed behind us. We spun around and saw a head poking out of another window of the cabin. It was pitch black, and we couldn't make out anything but a dark shape with no features. The head disappeared quickly, and soon after we heard rapid knocking coming from inside the cabin. The front door of the cabin suddenly burst open and we screamed in terror, running away at top speed towards home. I don't think we were actually being chased, but the next day, driven by curiosity, we tried to find the cabin again. We followed the footprints in the snow, but the cabin was gone. We were never able to find it again, not even with the help of maps or Google Earth. If it wasn't for the fact that I experienced it with my brothers, I would wonder if it was all a dream. Even today, years later, I don't know what happened that night in the snowstorm. The mysterious cabin remains an unsolved enigma, a mystery that still haunts my memory. My name is Adrian, and I live in Transylvania, a land steeped in mystery. Tonight, curiosity led me deep into the heart of Hoia Baciu Forest, a place whispered about in hushed tones. Legend spoke of strange occurrences within these ancient woods, but I, a man of science, scoffed at such tales. The air grew thick and heavy, the usual sounds of nature replaced by an unsettling silence. Terrifying tales unveiled. Suddenly, I stumbled upon a clearing bathed in an ethereal glow. In its center stood a magnificent oak, its bark etched with symbols I couldn't decipher. An irresistible energy drew me closer. In the heart of an ancient village, whispers of the past echoed through the misty night, a tale too chilling to forget. A soft, insistent whisper echoed through the clearing. It seemed to come from the leaves themselves. "Come closer," it urged. "We've been waiting for you." Fear threatened to consume me, but curiosity burned even brighter. At midnight, the clock tower bell tolled, marking the beginning of a journey into darkness. The air hung heavy with anticipation. As I reached out to touch the ancient oak, the whispers intensified. They spoke of forgotten rituals, of sacrifices made to appease unseen entities. A terrifying visage materialized on the tree, a face contorted in a grotesque smile, its eyes burning with an infernal light. Legend spoke of a shadowy figure roaming the streets, its presence felt but never seen. Fear gripped the hearts of many. Panic surged through me. The laughter echoed through the silent forest, growing closer. I fled, branches whipping at my face, unseen obstacles grabbing at me. In the oldest house by the lane, an attic door creaked open by itself, revealing secrets untold and horrors unseen. Finally, I burst from the tree line, collapsing onto the familiar road outside the village. Relief flooded me, but it was short-lived. Brave souls ventured into the night, seeking answers, only to be met with eerie silence and the feeling of being watched. As I reached up to wipe the sweat from my brow, my fingers brushed against something cold and smooth, a wooden bead etched with the same symbol that had adorned the oak tree. A horrifying realization dawned on me. I hadn't escaped the forest. It had come with me. They say those who listen closely can hear the whispers of the past, telling the story of a love lost to darkness. As dawn breaks, the village awakes, forever changed. The tale of the haunting night becomes another layer in its mysterious history. The sun lazily set on the horizon, casting a reddish glow on the sky and the leaves of the ancient trees in the witch's wood. A veil of mist spread over the damp ground, creating a surreal and eerie atmosphere. I had always been drawn to the legends my grandparents told me about the mysterious creatures and forgotten rituals that were said to take place in that forest. During summer breaks, I would visit my grandparents who lived near the forest, and they would always tell me stories about its dangers. They spoke of giant trees, dangerous creatures like wolves and bears, and a dark energy that permeated the air. Driven by an insatiable thirst for knowledge and a pinch of recklessness, I decided to venture into the witch's wood. My steps were sure, despite the creeping fear that gnawed at my gut. As I went deeper, the silence became oppressive. The usual sounds of the forest, the rustling of leaves, the singing of birds, were absent. An unsettling stillness reigned, as if the air itself was holding its breath. Suddenly, the silence was broken by a distant howl that echoed through the ancient trees. A shiver ran down my spine. The howl was followed by others, closer, more intense. I looked around, trying to locate the source of the sound. The forest now seemed like a hostile and threatening place. The shadows of the trees stretched out like tentacles, and the leaves rustled with an ominous sound. In the distance, I saw a silhouette with red eyes moving between the trees. Was it a wolf? I wasn't sure. My vision was obscured by the mist and fear. I started walking faster, trying to get out of the forest. But the wolves were following me. Their howls were getting closer and closer. At one point, they surrounded me. I saw them in front of me, their teeth bared as they growled at me. I was terrified. I thought I was going to die. I thought about my grandparents' words and how stupid I had been not to listen to them. I was ready for the inevitable when, in the distance behind me, I heard the voices of old women. They screamed so loudly and so frighteningly that even the wolves ran away. I started running without looking back. I finally emerged from the forest, collapsing on the dirt road that led to the village. I looked back, but I saw nothing. The wolves were gone, and those women or whatever they were gone too. I took a deep breath, trying to calm down. I was still shaken by the experience, but also relieved to be alive. I don't know what those creatures were, and to this day, years later, I still wonder. But one thing is for sure, I will never go back to the witch's wood.